Okay, and now the last part of our podcast, and we're getting closer to your pick, by the way. I haven't forgot about that. So if you're still sitting there going, but I want to know who Brandon's going to pick to win the championship game, it comes after this. And we're going to be talking about, I brought this up to you last night, Brandon, as Adam Scheffler tweeted it out as soon as it was official. He just, plain and simple, the Tennessee Titans are on the clock. Because they are. They've got the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. And Brandon,
they got worse from last year.
They did. They got 1 pick worse than last year. And I kind of wanted to talk about not necessarily who they would pick from the NFL side of it, who they should pick at number 1 from the college side of it. So just to throw the disclaimer out there, we're not necessarily going to be looking at what the Titans need. We're going to leave that to me and Mark on the onside kick. For me and Brandon today, we're going to be talking about what players deserve the number 1 pick kind of rating, name, however you want to think about it. And Brandon, we had a poll on MVP's Twitter at Most Valuable Pod where we asked out just simply, if you were the Titans, who would you take number 1? And 63% said other over Laramie Tunsil and Joey Bosa. Other. So do you think, and I know you replied with anybody who's going to make the team better, but I'll throw this out there. Does Ezekiel Elliott go number 1 to the Titans? Does he deserve to be number 1?
Here's the thing. You are a pretty darn good player if you're going number 1. Zeke Elliott is a pretty darn good player. Do the Titans need that? They've got this guy named David Cobb, who I think is just a rookie, who, you didn't see any flashes of brilliance there because you went with Antoine Andrews or something like that. What I think that we may be seeing Tennessee go for is offensive line. That was the problem.
So
and
the Laramie Tunsil.
And I know that you said, Mark and I will handle the football, the NFL side of it. Well, you and Mark can handle it still, but I'm going to tell you what I think.
Well, you're great at that. That's the best thing, is you tell us what you think.
All the time, whether you care or not. But I care, and that's the point. It's got to be offensive line. Because
you got to protect Mariota.
You got to protect Mariota. They clearly showed this year that they couldn't, as he was injured twice. They had no running lanes. They had no time to throw. They're god awful. It starts at the offensive line.
See, and one of the things I think about is with Joey Bosa. Is Joey like? The thing that I'm sitting here going is, I know I threw the Zeke thing out there, but let's be honest, that was to get the ball rolling. If you really thought that I was making a case for Zeke to go first, you're crazy. There were probably a lot of you that were like, oh, here's Ricky again, thinking of running backs going in the top 5. But Joey Bosa's been the guy ever since we started like the way too early mock drafts. Everyone's been like, oh, well, he's the guy to go at number 1. He's the guy to go at number 1. I'll be honest, Joey Bosa, to me, after watching this college season, and I don't know if you have a different opinion, Brandon, he didn't have, how do I want to say this? He had a better 2014 than he had a 2015. That's how I'm going to say it. If he comes out, if we're talking last year, number 1 pick. This year, he just, to me, didn't seem like he had that great of a year. Now, is it because we were all looking at Ohio State and they had the microscope because they were the defending champion? I don't know. But to me, I think Joey Bosa had a better season last year than he did this one.
Didn't really focus on Joey Bosa's season. Just kind of college football in general. I didn't really take a look at what he did outside of getting ejected this past weekend on kind of a BS hit. The hit wasn't bad, but the ejection was. But, yeah, I didn't take really a look at him. So that's why, honestly, I think for the Tennessee Titans, they could go after anything and probably get a win.
I'm going to throw out an interesting situation.
Okie dokie.
Now, Dorial Green-Beckham hasn't been exactly what we had hoped from the Titans. What about the kid he's a Crete, Illinois guy, right here, south side. Actually, I believe Crete, Illinois would be Will County. Is that Will County? Still, south side area of Chicago. Played a little football at Old Miss. A certain Laquan Treadwell. Does he maybe go number one to the Titans? Does he deserve... Let's start phrasing it this way. Does he deserve to be number one?
No.
No?
No.
Why not?
Because he's not going to be number one because that's not the biggest area of need. That's why he doesn't deserve to be number one.
So you're saying go with the guy like maybe like some of the offensive. I know, Brandon, that I'm just going to say it. I love draft season. I was focusing on draft season at the beginning of the year with my way too early mock draft.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Middle of the year, I had my mid-season mock draft. So you're saying the college kids we're probably going to see drafted number one overall, Laramie Tunsil, offensive line. Maybe a Ronnie Stanley, depending on how the offensive lineman rankings kind of change as we go through the draft process.
See, that's what I think. But the thing here right now is, I'll be honest with you, the Tennessee Titans are hurting for talent. They don't have much of it.
And we don't even know who their head coach is.
But see, that's the thing is, I also don't think that. Why would you go after a Laquan Treadwell when, great, you got him. Can you get the ball to him? I mean, if you don't have the time to get the ball to him, you just made a horrible decision. If you go and get Ezekiel Elliott, but you don't have a good offensive line to run behind, that doesn't matter. These guys need to be set up with success or for success with some successful people. That's why I think you have to go offensive line right away.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I completely agree. That's why on my 1.0 mock draft, if you haven't seen it, go check it out at mostvaluablepodcasts.com. That's why I had the Titans in my 1.0 going with Tunsil over Bosa, is you got to protect Marcus Mariota. And at this point, until things happen in the process and things change, I'm going to say Tunsil's my number one guy because if we're looking at the just first round as a whole, and I know this is going a little bit in the NFL mind, but I don't think Mark will mind if we dabble into a little bit of it. This will be our little secret,
Our little
Brandon.
secret, yeah.
Guys out there, don't tell Mark. This will be our little secret. But in the NFL draft, the first round, there's 4 offensive linemen, and they're all going to be gone by the 20th pick. You've got Laramie Tunsil out of Old Miss. You've got Ronnie Stanley, the guy out of Notre Dame. You've got Conklin out of Michigan State. And you got Decker Conklin's out of Michigan State. Then you got Decker out of Ohio State. Those are the 4 guys. And if you're Tennessee, you got to lock up one of them. Why not lock up Tunsil right away at the beginning?
Yeah,
right away.
I would agree with you there. That makes the most sense. It makes the most sense for Tennessee. And then they show that they're trying to shore up an offensive line that's been horrible.
To protect the future to
protect the future of Marcus Mariota and maybe to start getting some running lanes because I think that this David Cobb could actually be something good, but he's not going to be able to beat anything if he has nothing to run behind. That's the whole problem with Tennessee. Starts up front.
And here it is. The floor is yours, Brandon. The end of the podcast. Who you got winning the national title game?
Yeah, I just wanted to be a pain in the ass for everyone. Everyone knew who I was going with. It's going to be Alabama. But I just wanted to, kind of hold it out there, draw it out, and be a big pain, as I usually am.
Why?
No, it's gonna be Alabama. They are going to win this. It is their year. They have had an incredible season. Congratulations to Clemson as well. You guys did a really nice job. But at the end of the day, Alabama is they've been here before. They've been here before. They know what's going on. This is their time. It's theirs for the taking. If they lose, well, screw them because it's all set up for them. Alabama wins.
Why did I think you were going to pick anything else? I should have known that you were going to go with hashtag Roll Tide, but that is going to do it for the Primetime Podcast this week. Don't forget, don't tell Mark about our little secret, guys. I'm counting on you guys. But
and Ricky, how sad the last time we talk about college football.
Well, we'll kind of mention the championship game next podcast.
Yeah, we kind of will, but
that reminds me, we're going to have a slight schedule change for next week. Usually Brandon and myself record the podcast on Monday. However, because that's the night of the big game, expect the Primetime Podcast to be, instead of a Tuesday, expect it to be out Wednesday in that area instead of Tuesday, because we're not going to be recording it. We're going to be watching the game next Monday. And I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. But let us know down below in the comment section what you guys think. Go ahead, hit us up on Twitter. I'm at Ricky Widmer, plain and simple for you guys. Brandon's at young_swan19. Go ahead, hit that repost, that like button on SoundCloud. Hit the like and subscribe button on YouTube. Go follow us on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod. Facebook, you can like us. The links are down below as always. But as always, have a good day, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this MVP podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod for more great podcasts.